I'm gonna turn my camera. Ah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. This is your humble servant, Mike Miller. I'm here with Army Vet Rod. We're gonna do a tutorial, a draw-over class. Rod sent me a piece of artwork, and let me just double check super quick to see if this is actually going live. It should have started, and it is. All right, good, groovy, groovy, groovy. Rod, introduce yourself.
My name is Rod. I'm a veteran. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I use sketching as a way to, just relax a little, get lost in the art of it. And I'm a rookie. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about the art, but art is also a good therapy, and that's the whole everything about my channel. That's what it's all about.
Right on. Have you been checking out my tutorials? Rod.
Started to get into the. I just started to get into. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just started to get into the videos when Ethan introduced you and all that. And I saw the Red Rooster one, but I'm trying to go back into the catalog slowly. You could
Yeah,
probably point me at some good ones for me.
there's not a lot. I've been doing drawing tutorials, just starting from the basics like stick figures and then gesture and yesterday I did one on posing. I think you were there. No?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw a little bit of that.
So I'm just starting. I'm trying to start foundationally and then go through the various steps. And I don't wanna get ahead of myself or anyone. And I'm not gonna like jump to how to the folds of the nose and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm gonna go step by step. Hopefully
Okay,
you can pick up from there. But so let
okay,
me do a real quick. Let me share screen. So Rod has sent me a picture. He wanted me to critique and
yes.
then ink. But
I just wanted to say I have the utmost respect for Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill. This is Jake Skywalker, a creation of Ryan Johnson that we have some issues with. I say some people have some issues with this portrayal that we saw in the movie.
okay. And so, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a draw over of the piece so that Rod can see where the weaknesses are. And if he wants to go back and redraw it or just fix things in it or clean stuff up, he's trying to draw for an inker, which is different from just drawing in pencil. And so I'm going to try to explain that as we go. I'm going to screen share here and bring the piece up. Yodosha. All right. Here's your lovely piece. Would you mind explaining it to the audience?
This is the scene where he is enjoying in what appears to be Jake Skywalker, not Luke. Jake's favorite pastime, the acquiring of this green milk, and
Hmm.
they seem to be very proud of this scene. They really went into it in the behind the scenes of the movie, and since Ryan was so proud of this, I wanted to show the scene what it is and what the attitude is towards it by Ryan and all his friends.
Right. Okay. I just thought it was Rion. Was that too girly?
Rian, yeah,
Not
well,
Rion,
I'm just
Ryan.
used to saying Ryan or Rion. I don't. Hmm,
Is
I
that
don't
too
even.
girly? I don't know.
That's what they say in the media. That's what they mostly call him.
Yeah. All right. So let me get in here. Tab this out. Fill the screen. All right. So let's get right up in here.
I was gonna mute myself for a second so you can get into the tutorial of the thing, and then I really went into the shadowing in there. Maybe that I wasn't supposed to go into the shadowing, but I'm gonna mute myself so I don't interrupt you. And when you want me to chime in, you let me know so I can unmute myself.
Okay. So basically, structurally, this okay. So this is a draw over. So I've created a secondary layer, so that I can go in here and I can basically, maybe that's, yeah, I can basically rebuild what you're doing here. So like I was explaining in my other videos, you've got your stick figure. So he's posing this way, which means his left hip is up. His left hip is up, and he is putting his weight on this leg, and then this knee is up here. So, all right, cylinder. Here. If anybody can hear me, let me put my headset on.
I'm gonna chime in here a second. I try to do the skeleton thing. I try to do it in all my drawings. If you go into my channel, you'll see that I always start the faces with the skull, and always start the bodies with the skeleton to give it some kind of like weight, some kind of like, you know, give it a base to form on.
Right. Good. Well, I think this elbow came out a little too far here. This is like an elbow pad, because the elbow would probably come about here.
Okay.
Wrist.
I'm going to go back to mute and let you do your thing.
Alrighty. I don't mind the interaction. This, since you have this at an angle going backwards, you've got to start more meaty here, come in here, and come back out. Or just bring the elbow down a little bit lower, because at this point you've got a 4 foot long arm, and here you've got a 2 foot arm long. So long arm. So you've got to create what do you call it? Gosh, what is it called?
Okay, maybe I could chime in.
Shortening.
But you could lock the screen so that when I talk, it doesn't go to my. Oh, I think it got locked. Good.
Oh, here. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, I locked it. All right, now try talking and see if it goes to you. Okay. Although there's a 14-second delay.
Okay. So I understand. Oh, I'm all the way in Puerto Rico. It's almost it's just pretty far.
No. I mean, you and me were instantaneous, but the delay is in the
in the image.
Gosh. Yeah, hold on a second. That's my wife.
I understand.
Hello. Hi. I will. Okay. No. All right. So let's see, foreshortening. Yeah, now you can test and see if it's.
I think it's locked. I think
okay, good.
It stays locked on.
So you have your head here. Your head is here. All right. So here you see where, I mean, the bottom part looks fairly decent. It's just the where you have the arms and stuff. And I understand having the folds of the clothes can tend to get bulky and
yeah, cloth
orienting.
can be a little difficult for me sometimes.
Okay, well then let's start there. So I actually like the folds you've done. They're just in the wrong place.
Okay.
See, I like that. This is nice. But like I said, when you're drawing,
you should feel free to be brutal. One of the things I miss about the old Van Sciver reviews, he had these things called brutal reviews.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm trying to learn. I'm not here to you know, I could take it.
Right. Oh shoot, I'm
where I'm good, I'm good, and where I'm bad, I'm bad.
All right. What did I change brushes on it? What the heck happened here? I think I'm using. Oh, somehow I shifted my opacity down to 30%. All right. So folding, you want to fold into the crease, right? So personally, I think the best way to learn folding is through just study and reference. But say you have a elbow, right? The folds go towards the crease, right? and then you drape away. And then other folds are from the point of contact, they will drape down with gravity, right? And then like you have this draping down and it goes into an armpit. Again, armpit's another crease, so the folds will crumple up into there. And they fold into each other, right? Like it's a piece of paper, so, or not a piece
like
of
folding
paper.
into the joints?
Yeah, you're folding into the joints and you're creating, you know, these little canyons, right? And it's entirely dependent on what kind of material it is. Like if you have a piece of silk, your canyons are going to be like this, right?
Okay.
But if you have a piece of leather, your canyons are going to be these sharp, angular things. Or if you have what his is made out of is like a homespun cloth sort of thing, then your canyons are going to be like a little bigger and a little more soft and round. So I'll just leave that sketching there. So yeah, here you have the right direction. You've got the folds coming in from the armpit, right? And then you've got them here, and then you've got them balancing coming back in here. And then here you're just gonna have, he's got this cuff, and then you have gravity just kind of falling here and then going back into the thing there. So yeah, you're pretty good here. The robotic hand is pretty cool. Now, yeah, same thing here. So armpit is where your fabric is going to be pulling out from, and then again it crumples up here in the
Did I do okay in the face?
armpit.
I feel like it doesn't look like him, but or maybe I'm getting ahead of myself and we should do the body first.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Yeah, like
good point.
This hand is really tiny. It's like Donald Trump hands, if it's to be believed. I've got magnificent hands. It's cool. And then here you create a line that just looks like what the creature is sitting on, right? You should do this is a stream of liquid, so like do like little sputters or whatever, and then when it hits here, is this what happens when water or liquid hits a surface of something?
No, I think a lot with my imagination than
okay.
reality.
All right. Well, always, dude, you have Google right there. Anything you just splash. What is a splash like? Google it. There's 4
fountain or something like that.
Billion. Yeah. And there's 4 billion pictures of every single thing you could ever reference on Google. It is an artist's dream come true.
What about the way it hit the face itself? Was that okay?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It should be splashing, and then, dribbling. That you should. There's probably reference for something like this too.
Yeah.
I might have.
I might have done too much. Yeah, I was researching not so much like males in water. Maybe I was looking more at female money shots. Is that a little too dark? That'll be the last one.
This is a family-friendly show.
Yes, I apologize.
All right. So vest is okay. It's a little low on detail, but that's me. I'm a detail guy. So, and then again here, you're going with grays here, which again, if you're drawing for a as a penciler who wants to be inked, then you have to focus on actual line work. So focus on the lines that create these shapes. The shapes themselves are fairly decent. You have good draping here, but again, bunching where the hinges are, and then draping with gravity, bunching back around. Drape. This is like a freaking skirt, isn't it?
I wish I could learn inking. That would be like my ultimate goal. I do too much shadowing. I go into too many lines, and sometimes I just overdo it, over focus in one thing, and not let it go. And I wind up going into a lot of details in the corner of a drawing that I never finish.
Yeah. Well, if you want to draw, if you want to learn to ink, I mean, draw.
If I was gonna ink
get
for
some line work.
myself,
Like
line work.
look at artists' line work. Don't look at finished pieces like with coloring and everything. Just look at you know, like I always post black and white line work and stuff. Ethan's got
Okay.
black and white line work. Just go look at that and see how pencilers or how inkers how finished work looks in ink, and then that's how you draw. That's how I learned to draw. I was always drawing um, to look
Before
like
I
it was inked. So
before I did digital, all I did was pencil. That's all I did. And I think because I'm using an Apple Pencil and it's pretty much the same but on digital, but
uh,
all my technique is based on self-taught penciling. So
yeah,
that's the shadowing
right.
that you
Yeah,
see. That's my style completely. It's just like I'm doing it like I had a pen if I had a pencil.
right. Well, this cannot be inked. I mean,
It's too
if
hard.
I ink this, I'm just gonna go in here. I'm gonna ink the eye. I'm gonna ink the eyebrow. Maybe create some shapes here, and all of your shading and all of your rendering is gonna be gone because that's not drawn for inking.
Okay, I understand.
So yeah, it's like an inker uses cross hatching, um, feathering fades out of black, like you know. Um,
Also, I don't think I got the face to look like him. It's like I did a bearded man that has some age to him, but I don't think it looks like him.
who are you going for?
Luke's Jake Skywalker,
So Luke,
not Luke. Luke would never
not
do that.
okay. So whose face are you basing this on?
It has to be Mark Hamill. He played both. He
Okay,
played both
I'm not
characters.
familiar with your meme.
Yeah. No,
Um,
and
well,
also it's like Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson played Baraka Poole in Wolverine Origins, and he also played Deadpool in the Deadpool movies. But there's two different characters.
oh, you mean Ryan Reynolds? You said Ryan
Ryan,
Johnson.
no, oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I got my Ryans mixed up. They should like change the saying if they spell it different. You have a good point with that.
Right. Um, yeah, right. It's Rion, man. It's
It's
Rion.
Rion. It's
I'm
Rion.
pretty sure it's Rion. Rion Johnson. Because who would spell their kid's name Ryan like that? It's with a Y. Um, so, well, yeah, that does not look like Mark Hamill. And your shading is very flat, anyways. You don't have a lot of depth to your shade. Okay, and we're not going to get into shading because, like I said, you need to go in and practice. Go find something here. Let me pull something up of mine. And let's see, Phil. Yeah, that's it.
If I could go straight to ink, or do it like the process where I could start and go from my pencil to my ink and make it simpler, I would do that because the inker has an ability to give so much meaning with such few lines that for a person that goes from pencil, I would have to go into a lot of shading to give it that shape and that dimension. But the inker has an ability to give that dimension with less lines. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's learning a different craft rather than shading. You're learning cross hatching. Here, let's use Devil Dog.
I start the same with like basically like a skeleton, but when I give it the fullness that I don't know, you guys do so much with so few lines. I'm always amazed.
Right. Well, simplicity is. Oh, freaking hell! I forgot that saying. Simplicity's nice.
Yeah, no,
I made a new saying. Simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you just throw a line down for the shape. You can leave it to a colorist if you're going to get this colored. Then really you can leave all your shading to the colorist. Otherwise, if you're going to go, here, let's see, what do I have that has like real shading to it? Let me grab an old.
I like the cloth work on that one.
Thank you. Yeah. See, I love drawing cloth. Let's see. Let me grab. Oops, that's two T's. That's not how you spell injustice at all. I have like so many injustice pages on my computer. It's stupid.
I kind of like that the writing on that. As far as like, I didn't go into buying all of them,
Mhm.
but I kind of watched videos on them, and the story seemed pretty good.
Yeah, Tom Taylor is actually a very good writer.
That's who wrote it. Okay.
Yeah, when well, at least on the Injustice stuff, I read some of the Marvel stuff and I wasn't as interested. Um, I don't know what the difference is there. Okay,
Well, I
here's an
saw a
example.
report on like human resources at Marvel, and apparently it's not like the best place to work at.
Yeah. So here's an example. Obviously, this is not a human.
Okay.
But this is an example of going from, um, you know, of just this is hatching here, where you just do single lines,
Okay.
and then you bring them closer
Nice.
together, closer together, closer together. They get darker, 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 and then you can even start cross hatching like I did here. And then obviously I did a lot of splatter work on this one because
There's a lot more
it's an explosion.
control to the shading than the shading in pencil. It's very
Um,
very controlled. Very.
yeah. Oh, and there's another example of just using solid blacks and then doing feathering out of the black to transition from black
Now you when you
to
did
white.
this, I sometimes I'll go and I'll have black and I'll just use the eraser to throw some lines in there. Is that what you're doing here?
No,
In the
I'm
dark parts?
no. I just I just drew it out. I black this in and
Okay.
I fade this out. Um, so yeah, you want to work with either hatching or just areas of black, right? Like core shadows, um, hard shadows. Um,
Okay.
but this is a lot of inking stuff. So yeah, another example. Let's see what else I got in here. Here we have more cross hatching, and here's another. This is another technique where you're using patches of parallel lines just in different angles to give. So you're not just doing one sheet of gray like it looks like a computer did it, but you're giving it a little bit of texture, even though it's still maintaining that feel of a flat surface.
Wow, but it looks so like, if you have you ever done like pencil shadows in pencil? I'm guessing you have.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is so much more
yeah.
controlled than just fading.
I'll draw this in pencil as in shorthand,
Okay.
right? Because I know what I'm going to do in inks. But
Okay.
if before I started inking, and some pencilers still do because they're just they know what they really want. They'll just draw every single one of these lines in pencil, as if
Okay.
the inker is a blithering idiot and wouldn't know what to do, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Um, yeah, Jeff
It looks
Campbell would
nice. I
do
like
that.
that.
Jeff Campbell's Jeff Campbell's pencils, and you can see it because he's been just publishing stuff from his pencils, but he's always done that. He has drawn to the nth degree with his pencil line. Um, see, this is some simple hatching that you can get away with on what you're trying to do. But yeah, and then I was like, dude, you have like one of the Alex Garner was one of the best inkers in the industry. And
Okay.
I'm like, you have Alex Garner inking you. I think he can figure out your shorthand if you just, and it wouldn't take you 2 days to draw a page.
Exactly. I take too
Right.
long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get
Here,
over
here's a good
focused.
example of some
Oh, that
hatching
looks
and
so nice.
face shaping just with some hatching lines here. So,
I like how the shadow makes it look like the light is coming from his chest.
right. This one, another, I did a little bit of uplighting here just to make him look a little scarier. The little spark. This is giving the light off here. So, and again, shading down here. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Oh, this is a good one for shading. So here I used blocked in blacks for high contrast lighting because the sun was coming through the window, right?
Okay. Okay.
But then I didn't want to just blacken all of his capes, so I did, long sweeping lines for shading here, which is what you might do on Luke's skirt. On Luke's
That's kind of what I did a
skirt.
little bit. That's more controlled,
Yeah, and
more
you
defined, but it's a little. I could see myself doing that.
Good, good. Practice your controlling.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
this
I
is
do.
just my fingerprint. I hope nobody can dox me. I use my fingerprint to, yeah, and then a little bit of, again, high contrast shading here. Same thing. So
Okay.
I think that's it. Um, so, oh, I'm still on double dog here. What the heck? Oh, oh yeah. Okay, so that's one of my characters. Yeah, and that's some of the folding I'm talking about.
Yep. Folding in shadows.
Yeah, and here it's draping and folding at the same time. You see how it's right because you have
Oh,
your cuff.
pants. Pants can
Yeah,
be difficult
yeah.
sometimes.
You have your cuff at the bottom, and if your cuff isn't perfectly tailored, then it's gonna hit your shoe and it's gonna bunch up, right? But the bunching is still because it's not into a crease. It is all based on draping. So it's like it hits this little knot on the knee, it drapes over it, and then it sort of drapes and folds on its way down to the cuff. And then again, you have the bunch towards the crotch because it is another bunching area, and then you have a pulling here across the waist because um, you know pants have to actually fit. Then I
Yep.
just had the t-shirt as a stretch t-shirt, so it's pulling. The wrinkles are all pulling against each other from side to side to fit
Okay.
around the body. And then again, bunching into the pits, bunching into the pits, and draping, draping, draping. So bunching and draping, that's all you got to learn. You just have to learn the different techniques and different fabrics. And if you're going to do it out of your head, but definitely always reference
Every
because
time.
well, until it gets to the point where you can not reference and it still has the quality that you're looking for. I mean, I don't always I hardly ever reference for fabric anymore. Um, maybe I should. It's never too late to brush up on your technique. But
No, but I
yeah,
mean, you got a couple of years of experience in there. I'm
couple of
basically a rookie. I need all the
right,
credit.
right, right, right. No, but yeah. So that and again, reference for the face. I can't give you a full how to structure a head tutorial right now, but reference the face. If
Okay.
when you're drawing a likeness of somebody, you should be spending 80% of your time looking at the reference and 20% of your time drawing. So look, get the shapes that you're wanting, that you're trying to identify in your head before you look back at your drawing and try to transfer that image
Okay.
over to your drawing. Uh,
So as it stands, is this impossible to ink?
it's not impossible, but it would not um, it
There would
wouldn't
be so much
look.
transformation that it would
It
be
would,
practically
yeah,
an original work.
pretty much, pretty
Oh,
much, yeah,
I understand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am fully for commissioning a work based on this. This would be like basically a thumbnail for it, right?
Right, right, right.
Okay,
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 well, we could talk about that on Twitter. We don't have to. We don't have to
okay,
discuss.
okay. No, just like this is more of the lingo that the artist and you guys use sometimes, right?
Right, right. And so, same deal with the mammary glands over here. Reference them um, from
Oh,
the
I
image.
did try to get a couple of angles of that. It's pretty much like that, which is
Yeah,
no, no. They say it's for kids, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
I mean, we're not saying that. That's what Disney says.
yeah. And
Okay.
then and then just really get into the texture of the skin because I know the thing has like sort of like elephant skin, right? Which
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
really fun to draw if you like really get into it. So
Okay.
the skin is likewise going to be, at least in some part, it's going to have its wrinkles the way fabric does. It's going to go and it's gonna tighten up in the creases, right? Um, and it's going to stretch out over the knees where the skin stretches out. It's going to have these little. It's not going to be folds like fabric, but it is going
Okay.
to be folds in the skin texture. I'm not looking at the texture. This is like me eyeball or
Okay.
freewheeling it. But so yeah, so I think I've given you enough to go
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and
So I
work
gotta
on.
gotta take good references, very important.
Yeah, extremely important.
Good. Don't overdo the shadowing. Have
Right. Well,
some.
think in line, not in shade.
Okay.
So if you want to draw for the purpose of it being inked, then you have to get away from modeling. That's what that's called.
Okay.
What you're doing with with all the shades of gray, that's called modeling. And you want to
Okay.
get away from that and get into line art and
Line art.
line
Okay.
art. Yeah, and you want to practice. You know, take some time just looking at some different artists. You know, Ethan, me, whoever, whatever artists you love best. Look at the style of line art they produce,
Who
and
are your
just
top
copy it.
top three inkers? Who's your top three?
Jesus Marino, Mark Farmer, and probably Scott Williams. Um,
Okay,
as far
I'll
as
check them out.
guys who've never worked on me, but whose work I admire looking at.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I could give you another dozen probably,
Well,
but
I really collected a long time ago. I got back into this because, well, I wanted to get back into drawing, and I
mhm.
started watching Comic Artist Pro Secrets because before this whole Star Wars thing, he did these things called brutal artist portfolios, and anyone can draw. There was some good interviews in there too, and that's how I got into it. And then I started learning about this Comicsgate, Gamergate, all these gates, and I
Mhm.
kind of knew a little bit about the gates because I used to watch Collider. I used to watch Screen Junkies, and you make friends in the chat and you talk and this and that. And there was a shift. It was kind of a sudden shift. If you said anything negative, you started to get muted, and you wouldn't be able to talk to your friends, and you would lose all those people, and you got stuck outside the gate. I
Mm.
learned that this happened a long time ago in comics when it was message boards and the admins would just block you out of this community and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
couldn't talk to anybody. But I didn't know anything about this. I just knew what I had just experienced and just given up on all that and just said, well, you know what? I'm just going to start drawing again. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then
Yeah,
when Ethan
yeah.
saw the movie, it introduced me to this whole thing. I bought Jawbreakers. I got right back into comics. He's brought a lot of people that were just upset about Star Wars. And then they saw the what's going on with the gamers and what's going on. It's just a series of gates being built around fans that disagree.
Right. Hey, you want to take some questions from the peanut gallery?
Sure.
All right, let's see. Anybody? Let's see. Let's go to the beginning and see. Hello, 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 hello. What's up, fellows? Thank you for your service. You have been thanked for your service. And thank you.
Oh,
I thank you as well. Thank
uh,
everyone out there who has
uh,
served our great and glorious nation for their service. So,
thank you for saying that. We don't like war, but we know we have to stand for something, stand
that's
for
right.
for good, for
Yep.
what's right.
Can't just idly stand by and let evil take over the world.
No, it's a bad thing. You feel useless. You feel like I'm not doing anything. I have to do something.
Yeah.
And many of us take different routes. Some people become firemen. Some people become policemen. Some people go to the military. And that's what I did. You know,
Yeah.
just went for it. I'm like,
Nice.
I
I know
don't.
you probably
All
don't
my
want to
friends
hear
are
it,
going to
but
jail or
yeah.
dying. They're getting hooked on stupid stuff. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, one of my good friends has been serving. He got a three strikes um, over 20 years ago, so he's been in jail for freaking strong arm robbery. Just the
Oh,
dumbest.
that's
Yeah.
aggression. Aggression is serious. There's non-aggressive crimes, but aggression is
A strong arm rob. He stole beer. He's he's literally in jail for a quarter century for stealing beer.
Jesus.
Well, that was his third strike, but
Well, yeah, they see
yeah,
it as a habit, as a
yeah,
bit
but
of a problem, right?
it's done. He's a really good guy. Anyways, I don't like it. Let's see. Grim called. Can't wait. Just started drawing again a few months ago, and I love the drawing videos. Okay, I'm gonna keep them coming. I'm gonna do them, you know, as often as I can.
I
Well,
think Kyle Ritter is in the chat.
is he? Is he?
He says
It's
Donnie
on.
Star is just suffering for some green milk.
What have I walked into? Green milk. Where's Kyle? I don't see Kyle. Is he at the bottom?
At the bottom, yeah.
That's at the bottom. Okay, I'm still going through the top ones first. Um, la 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 la
There's gonna be a
la.
time where you can barely keep up with the super
Wait.
chats.
Well, yeah. Let's hope I get there sooner than later. What the heck is this?
Oh,
LOL.
that's Ryan
No.
Johnson's Star
Is
Wars.
that
That's Disney for you.
is that Jake Skywalker milking the sea creature? Dear God,
Thank
that
the
is
mouse.
horrifying.
Thank the mouse for that.
Draw Cecil standing next to him with a bottle of bourbon.
Now I could like make the sea cow look a little bit like Cecil.
Cecil cow.
But I want to clarify.
Make it Cecil cow.
I love Cecil. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a little misunderstood.
I think the problem is he is too well understood.
No, because he trolls the SJW so hard from their own point of view.
Yeah. It's too funny. All right, this is so weird and awesome. Hey, what's up, Mike? Teach us, Sensei. Do what I can. Yeah, I'm willing to. This was fun. I am not, and I'll just put it out there for anybody who like. If somebody asked me to do like portfolio review or review books or something, I'm like, I made the decision in my life years ago that I do not offer critique unless it is requested of me, because I'm very honest, and that will hurt people's feelings. And so I'm not going to like whip open somebody's comic book like Diversity in Comics and critique their artwork, because
that was one of the cornerstones of brutal portfolio reviews. Ethan would tell you, look, this is going to be brutal. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to request it, and I'm going to be brutal. And I don't usually like to do this. He doesn't like to review anything. It's like pros don't usually review pros. Reviewers review.
All right. Yeah.
Pros just usually they help each other out. They promote each other. But I understand where you're coming from when you say no, it has to be requested.
Right. All right. Drawing cloth is weird for me as well, Aqualad says. Comics Legend. LOL. That elbow looks like something else. Okay, I'm just going to leave that one there. Mature audiences only. Hey,
this is a Disney film.
It's a cow. It's a sea cow with the boo-boos. That's what my son calls my little
Yeah, but I would be hard pressed to think a kid see that. I'm just saying. No, but this is Disney. This is Disney. I'm just gonna try to keep that in mind.
They're Disney boo-boos. All right. Mature audiences just got here. Is this a fan critique? Yeah, more or less. Is professional inker a job? Yes, it is. Kego Rogers. Professional inker is a job. Most comic books have a separate penciler and inker. There are a few of us who do both. Lon Chaney, bless Mike for his patience going over this.
That would be my ultimate goal. Being able to do both would be like my dream.
Right. Well, then take all my sage advice and practice. Loomis. Yes, Loomis is great. So is Bridgman. He should try inking. You should try inking. We'll see it. We'll help you grow through the miracle of
my
YouTube.
Top 3 are like Jim Lee, Greg Capullo, and probably, I don't know, Van Sciver and McFarlane. That's like my top.
So you're a detail guy. You love the detail.
I love details.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you, man. As the Comics Legend says, as the great Jim Lee would say, is just draw, dude. Well, I'm going to disagree with the great Jim Lee, because you have to draw, but you have to be learning. And I could draw all day long, and yeah, my whatever technique I'm developing on my own will be fine. But if I'm not referencing, if I'm not learning, if I'm not seeking out how to better the skill through, I mean, nobody has to reinvent the wheel. We've got George Bridgman, we've got Andrew Loomis, we've got Vanderpool, we've got all these great classic teachers who have broken down the structure and the anatomy and everything, and we don't have to relearn that from
I
scratch.
think there's a little bit of a lag between the image and the words. Uh,
Yeah.
I think you could throw the avatar up, and people will stop complaining about it.
Yeah. All right, let me turn my camera off. Sorry, guys. There's my beautiful cartoon face.
No, it throws them off. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There.
Just need to keep practicing and copy the masters. Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to copy the finished work alone. You need to go back in and learn the core structure. That's why in my You Can Draw tutorials, I am starting from the very basics.
Well, Jim Lee says that, but he says that on his Twitch channel where he teaches art.
Right. I watched him once. That was
well, he gets a lot of subscribers. I mean, that's a way to
he's
diversify the income to
Yeah. He's Jim. So
I think pros should explore it. I think all these pros, especially some of the ones that have been a little bit persecuted or marginalized, should always just look into all the diversification of your revenue streams.
All right. Grant Hall says, "Who's chatting with Mike?" Rod, why don't you introduce yourself and share your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is Army Vet Rod Sketch Therapy.
Yeah, post. Say something in the chat so people know where to follow. Yeah, Rod is a vet who likes to draw because it is therapeutic, just relaxing and takes your mind off of many other things. Lets your mind focus. On sort of a singular.
It's like
idea.
A lot of people say that their home is a vacation from their job, and their job is a vacation from their home.
Correct me if I am wrong, but the difference is because a single line draws the eye. I think that's accurate. Sean Gordon Murphy uses his fingerprints in his inks too. Pretty cool. Yes, we can use that on him later. Mike and
Hi, Edwin. How you doing? Edwin's in the chat.
Oh, right on. What's up, Edwin? Rereading the Lone Star treatment and listening. Well, thank you, Edwin. This is actually going to be a pretty short one because I have to go make my kids some food. They are starving.
Understandable.
I hate to starve my children, but we're going to run through these pretty quick. I don't like leaving as long as I only have this many people in the chat. I don't like leaving anyone. Leave no man behind. This guy's funny with his Star Wars jabs.
I try to slide them in there. I'm not too. I don't go for the uppercut. I jab.
Is that Army Vet Sketch Therapy? Yes, it is. Now I'm thirsty and I need green milk. That's Kyle. Yep. Everybody say hi to Kyle. Oh, everybody already did. Never mind. Keep the drawing videos. Mike and Kyle are art gods. Video audio is out of sync. Yeah, it's fine. Aqua loud, thanks. Resist the urge, Kyle. It's the milk that corrupted Luke. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, yeah. Let's see. We got 43 watching, and I only have 26 likes. What's wrong with you people?
I threw my like in there. I'm just saying.
All right. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw my own like in there. 27.
All right.
I find honesty valuable. I think it's why brutally honest works so well. They are missed. Well, yeah. Ethan's, he's busy. I get it.
But there's a void there.
Right. I remember the scenes in the Mallrats where they call it inker a tracer. Yes, we all of us who were professional inkers know that scene very well.
It's a great movie, but a bad idea. Don't say me. It's not gonna work out how you think.
Recording the transcript of this stream in case I need to tweet about it later. Okay, that kid is back on the escalator. Schooners and sailboat. These are all just Mallrat things. I was right, Wood. Congrats, Miss Marcelin. Edwin, the silver fox has cometh. Edwin the boyette. I taught myself to draw at 5 years old. I've been drawing ever since. Yeah, I'm self-taught too, but I would go in and I'd take my mom's art books and I'd learn things like perspective and how to draw things like whatever she had, horses, flowers, birds. You know, she's a
Yeah,
woman, so
no, that's what I
she
did
didn't
too,
like
but I never got
superheroes. So
into comic style. I
yeah.
want to like learn that.
Well, then I
Just to
got, you know, how to draw comics the Marvel way, and that was like, you know, mother's milk for all comic book young aspiring comic book artists.
I remember I had a book, but it was like a Da Vinci collection, and it really went into the Da Vinci muscles, like the way
Mm,
he drew them.
yeah.
And that's, you know, I would always draw from the skeleton, from the bone. Sometimes I'm a little off, but I try to have that base in all my. Well, you know,
Well,
if you go through and check it out, right now I got a rainbow brute with a bear in there. It's not finished. None of them are ever finished. It's usually
yeah,
just therapy. But I'm
yeah.
starting to learn how to finish.
Well,
You'll see what I'm saying in there. You know.
right. But get George Bridgman's Complete Guide to Drawing from Life because
Okay.
you want to go back in and it's not just about the anatomy, it is about the structure and the mechanics of the
Okay.
human body. So it's very important to learn that.
I also have trouble with placing them. You understand what I'm saying? Like a 2 point perspective, buildings, backgrounds. I'm horrible at that.
All
I wish
right.
I was better at that. And
I'm glad I learned that as a child.
that is on the penciler. That's not on the inker. That's on the penciler.
That is right. Yeah. And like I was saying, that's one of the first books that I learned from was my mom had a perspective book. And so I was like, yeah, probably in third grade practicing perspective because she only had a handful of books. And so that was one of the ones I learned. I'm Grant Hall. I'm 6 minutes behind because I had to make coffee. But man, 25 years for stealing beer. I'll never understand the U.S. justice system. The biblical penalty for stealing is payback times 2 plus what you took. Well, actually, okay, I'll just get into this a little bit. What happened to my friend was that he stole beer. He pushed the guy out of the way or something. That's, you know, strong arm robbery. It's not like just shoplifting. And he got caught. But there were some other things that he was accused of. The judge said, "Well, look, we're gonna just pile all these up into one account, right? And if you plead guilty to it, we'll knock it down, and we'll, you know, it would have been a very short thing." So he pled guilty, and then the judge stepped down from the case, and another judge came in, and he expanded it back out, so it was multiple counts. And in California, you got three strikes and you're out. And he had already had one strike, so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he got railroaded, and he's been in jail for over 2 decades because of it.
If sometimes they'll work with you if you are drunk, like under the influence at the time that it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were gonna let it go this time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time, Mike. I'm watching, listening while I'm sculpting. Popped in to give a like. Thank you, March. Thanks, Comics Legend. Tim Anderson, that was a joke. I also have Cummings tattoo on my chest. Okay, I'm going to show this. Tim said that was a joke. I also have Cummings tattoo on my chest. It was the YouTube blocked that comment.
Well, if you say Cummings on my chest, you might have problems. that might have been it. They might have misinterpreted you. It happens. Look at what happened with that Jake Skywalker drawing. You know, everybody thought it was something else, and it's not. It's a Disney movie.
Edwin Boyette, if you were in an unavoidable physical confrontation with another man, would you strike him with an open hand? What would that particular strike be called? A striking, a slap.
I'd probably just stand my ground and shoot.
If it was the back of the open hand, that would have a different name entirely.
Well, the way I see it, like people like Batman and Spider-Man and all these people, if they wait for the guy that's robbing to pull the gun out to bring the fist up, it's not vigilantism. You're stopping a crime in progress.
Right. Yeah. Champion of Shadow, I'm sitting on a private beach listening to this live stream and soaking in solar cosmic rays. Enjoy the skin cancer. You can only get so much. No, I love the sun. I soak up the sun. It's like recharging my batteries, man. Burn Hogarth is pretty good too. Not a fan of Hogarth, but to each his own. Private Beach, nice. LOL. I'd name it the Lone Star Slab. All right, got to the end of this. I want to thank Rod for the opportunity to critique.
Thanks for the lesson.
Yep, and I'm going to tap out. I do have to go feed my children. Edwin Boyette says, this was not a general question. I was asking if you, Mike, in particular, delivered the unnamed strike. Oh. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
An unarmed strike.
Unnamed strike.
Okay. I don't know. I'm guessing you could probably deliver a couple of strikes. You strike me as someone that would be striking a striker.
Actually,
you defend yourself. I'm guessing.
Oddly enough, the last 2 fights I can remember getting into, one was with a really good friend who thought I was stealing his girlfriend, and the other was with my brother, who was
that happens.
Just belligerent. And both times I didn't hit them back. I just dropped them on the ground. My brother, he went to punch me in the face.
A little bit of the Aikido?
I armbarred him, slammed his face on the ground, and told him, because he was always like, fight me, fight me, fight me. And I'm like, he finally came to the point where he was attacking me, and I just dropped him, slammed his face into the cement, and I'm like, this is why I don't fight you.
I took Aikido for a couple of years before I went to the Army, and the Army had their kinds of training. I like the Aikido because you're just using the strength against them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 And I'm teaching. I teach my kids by playing with them, and it's like they'll throw a fight, and I'll just grab them, wrist lock them, and I'm teaching them what I'm doing so that they'll understand. And then like when my son, gets into he doesn't get into real fights, but he'll, his friends will like throw punches and stuff, and he'll start doing stuff to them, and it's like, oh, good, he was learning. And then my other the other fight with my other friend Joe. Oh, this was a long time ago, but Joe's like, I'm like 5'6 3/4, and Joe's like 6'4", right? And so I'm dropping off his girlfriend at her house, who was my best friend at the time. And he comes, I took her, we were all in the same house, hanging out. And then she comes downstairs from his bedroom, and she's like, Mike, can you take me home? So I took her home. She got out of the car, she got in the house, and Joe comes freaking screeching up in his car and gets out, and he just freaking swings at me. And I just step out of the way and dip bop bap. I have him on the ground. I have his head in one arm, and I have his legs in the other, and I'm just holding him, and he's still trying to swing and hit me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hit you, dude. I'm like, you're my friend. This is a misunderstanding. I'm not gonna hit you, so freaking calm down.
Well, that's the thing. I'm the kind of guy that says, look, if you can hit it, but tell me the next day, because if she dared be with my friend, she's probably been with a lot of guys. So just,
that wasn't the situation. That was not the situation.
But let me know so I can drop her.
All right. If I'm in let me just skim through these. If I'm in a Marvel comic, I won't get cancer. I get powers. Later, Mike can highlight one. Would it be a half jab slap? Ba-dum. Half a jab slap. That's the way we call it, brother. We're from Hawaii. It's hard to hear Mike when the other guy keeps interrupting. Oh, that's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. There you go. Thrall Whiteman. That's a great name. Half a jab slap. Message helpful. Hi, Mike. If you're not familiar, Japanese American kid around 20, amazing artist. I don't know why that was under review. All right, I do have to back out. So you're a beautiful man, Mike Miller. Thanks, Edwin. Thanks, Rod. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Please subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications, and please, please, please share the love. Make sure anybody you think would be interested in this knows about this channel and subscribes to this channel. I got to get over 1,000 so I can start taking super chats. All right, guys. Thanks again. You want to say peace out, Rod?
Peace out. Check the channel. It's mostly about just starting. Just start sketching. Look at the. It's about therapy. If you don't have to be a pro, you could just use it for therapy.
Right on. All right. God bless you guys. God bless America.